All right, good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of The Buzz, the show that brings you all of the trending stories on social media. We'll bring it to you, especially if it catches the interest of people on social media. That's what we treat on the show. And today will be no different. We'll be talking from politics to drug abuse and other things. And it's always great to be here. Anyway, today is Tuesday, it's the 6th day in the month of February 2018. My name is still Patience Velo Kafo. I welcome you to the program alongside my able partner here, Alero. Good afternoon, Alero.
Good afternoon, Patience. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Okay, a beautiful Tuesday morning to you. Rather, did I get a morning?
It's afternoon. You are
Don't
still
mind
in
me,
a
I'm
time
still
machine.
sleeping. Okay. And this is actually a call down to the last mile officials. There is actually a gridlock around the GRA axis. So please, we're also pleading to our last mile officials to try and ease up traffic around that axis.
All right. All right, having said that, we do remind you that the program is quite interactive. You can interact with us on the show using all of our social media portals.
Yes, using the hashtag The Buzz on Facebook, www.facebook.com/GalaxyTV, and on Twitter, that is official Galaxy TV. Knowing that you can get to watch previous editions of The Buzz via our YouTube channel, that is Galaxy TV Nigeria, using the hashtag The Buzz.
That's right, and also you can send SMS to the number 0708 540 7508, and the number is on the screen. SMS only. All right, our topics today, let me quickly run by them before we introduce our guest on the program this afternoon. I will be discussing IBB'S letter to Buhari. It looks like it's the season of writing letters as we have it in Nigeria. Also, we'll be discussing Nigerian youths and drug abuse. Plus, we'll be looking at lawmakers and ridiculous constituency projects. That's what we'll be discussing on the show this afternoon. Joining us on the program, it's a pleasure to have him back. He's a dear friend. Well, he's been on AWOL for a bit. This guy makes a lot of noise on social media. Yes, always standing in for the youths of Nigeria to do what is proper. It's a pleasure to have my brother, my friend, also a public relations consultant and social analyst, Great Imo Jonathan. Hi, Great.
I'm doing great.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
I know.
that's your name.
It's great to have you on the show.
Same here. I'm very glad to be here this afternoon.
Thank you for coming.
Missed coming to Ghana.
Yes, we missed having you here too. Also, all right, first time we're having an ex-footballer as a as a member of panel on the show.
Yes.
But then he's also a concerned Nigeria. Anything happening in Nigeria, of course, will affect him as well.
And
definitely,
I wanted to say something, Patience, and I was just going through his profile. I had to Google, and I found out that he's actually an ex-footballer that was actually duped by imams and also pastors, and that's something in which we treated on the program.
Yes.
Yes.
We hope he doesn't fall into that category. Anyways, a pleasure to have Femi Opabumi on the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. How do you feel being a Nigerian?
I feel good. I feel proud to be a Nigerian. Yeah.
All right, we're still expecting Akisho Koya. We hope he'll make it to the show, even though he's locked down in traffic somewhere. All right, so let's go straight into our program this afternoon. A former military head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida, retired, has also lent his voice to the call by former President Olusegun Obasanjo that President Muhammadu Buhari should not seek re-election after completing his tenure in 2019. He issued a statement and he said that he just shared his thoughts with fellow compatriots on the need to enthrone younger blood into the mainstream of our political leadership starting from 2019. And of course, interesting trend of events followed this statement. His spokesperson, the person of Kasim Afegbua, was arrested, and that came by order of the Inspector General of Police, to explain the statement, and he insisted that he was speaking on behalf of General Babangida and all of that. Other things have followed ever since then. But before we go on, let's listen to Kasim Afegbua for a bit, and then we'll come back.
I arrived Benin City this afternoon, or this evening about 5 o'clock. I was in Abuja when I issued the statement, and after I did that, I had to catch my flight down to Benin to, engage in some other activities. So the statement stands, and I have so communicated to all the media houses that they should respect that statement as coming from IBB. Those are his thoughts. They didn't emanate from my head. We sat down, we articulated them, and we put them in perspective so that Nigerians can begin to interrogate the issues he raised in that statement. Perhaps you may want to know that IBB started new politics in 1990. And so if he's saying that we should go back to the early 90s, is corresponding with his line of thoughts, before now. So I wouldn't know why anybody would think that I would go and generate a statement without, extracting that authority from him.
Welcome back. All right, so that was him trying to explain himself and also insisting that that statement, were the thoughts, the actual thoughts of General Ibrahim Babangida. Now, great. I know on your Facebook wall, you get interested in matters like this. And I know you are very passionate when issues of the Nigerian youths come up and all this. This is General Ibrahim Babangida here actually trying to make a case for the Nigerian youths, in his thoughts. I don't want to call it a letter anymore. But then when you heard about this letter, how did you feel about it as a Nigerian youth?
Well, my first impression is that as a former head of state and one of those who he has been one of the deepest actors in the evolution of Nigerian politics, from military to civilian democracy. Even at his age, is a statesman and must be taken seriously also, generally. And but I didn't think that they needed to write a letter. I didn't think they needed to, draw a press release. I think that it is within his capacity and the likes of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo to do these things without creating noise. And also the idea of asking President Buhari not to run is undemocratic. It is within his constitutional right to run. And as much as we want to encourage young people to come to power, we should do it in a way and manner that will encourage undemocratic process. The president has the constitutional right to seek for re-election, and after which Nigerians can deny or vote for him. Then if there are a group of people who are serious and who think that yes, leadership needs to move, like we young people believe that it should, then the way to go about it is not to write someone and say not to run. So you're trying to correct something, then you're also trying to do wrong somehow. So what do? Within your network of influence and association, you can mobilize. You can encourage young people. If you see a great Imo and you feel that this young man has something to offer, or I'm even struggling to be part of your seeking the opportunity to offer my service to the Federal Republic, what do you need to do? You pull your resources behind the individual. Go out there marketing with that, saying this one don't run. That is the only problem I have with it. I like the idea of young people coming to power. I like the idea that these older men are beginning to discover that they are long overdue on the stage of governance in Nigeria, and the intellectual capacity of young Nigerians need to be deployed for the development of Nigeria.
All right, hold the thoughts right there. We're told we need to take a very quick break. We'll take that break. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Benin City this afternoon, or this evening about 5 o'clock. I was in Abuja when I issued the statement, and after I did that, I had to catch my flight down to Benin to engage in some other activities. So the statement stands, and I have so communicated to all the media houses that they should respect that statement as coming from IBB. Those are his thoughts. They didn't emanate from my head. We sat down.
All right, we're back. Yeah, great. Apologies for cutting you mid-sentence. So we can take it from where we were before we took that.
So as I was saying, that if these leaders or elders are not interested in helping the young ones come to power, maybe after having mentored some people, or they have met some people somewhere who they know that have capacity, despite of their age, to make a difference, I think it would be more encouraging if they organize themselves into a structure in whichever way, join political party or sponsor, or encourage these young people to take the gauntlet, go out there, campaign, we are behind you. When this confidence building measure, which is the key thing, is in place, when, for example, imagine an IBB inviting a great team and say, oh, I wish you to run for the presidency of Nigeria. These are the things I would support you to do. I'm going to encourage you. He doesn't need to announce it. They can do all of that without creating any hula baloo, without being undemocratic. But yet, he has the right to advocate for young leaders to imagine the scene. But I don't think it's also democratic for you to say someone should not run.
All right, and this is more or less coming a few weeks after Chief Olusegun Obasanjo actually dropped his own letter. Yeah. Do you see this as a trend for the elder statesmen to just contribute their own quota to the political?
Femi is laughing. Femi, are you feeling all this?
No, I don't feel anything.
Oh, how did you feel about Obasanjo's letter, and how do you feel about this particular letter too?
Well, in my point of view, you have said it all, but I will just add a little. What I will say about it is this, that Babangida IBB, you know the reason why he wrote the letter. Okay. So it's best known to him. So I don't want to say much about politics because, you know.
Okay. Okay, all right, great.
Yeah, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo is an actor who refuses to leave the stage after a long while. He also has the right, the constitutional right for free speech. And like as Dick mentioned about that of IBB, the only thing I found challenging about, he raised some issues. And I also want to use this opportunity to say, we have gotten to a point where it is no longer about raising issues. Maybe we should also be coming up with propositions. I know what are the solutions to some of these issues. For example, you're talking about the lopsided appointments. You could just say, these are the ways you should have gone about. These are. But I know that in between there might be solutions provided. But asking the president not to run is the only challenge I have. And people are usually afraid of Obasanjo's letter. But it appears this time there's not so much fear because two generals are involved. Maybe in the last case you had a civilian dealing with the retired general. But this time they are both generals and can look themselves in the eye. They employ both are employing military tactics to deal with their situation. For us Nigerians, what more of us are doing is like sit-down look. If Obasanjo also wish, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo wish to support the youth, I want to see a little more in action. I want to see it a little more in action. How much have they encouraged younger people to take up local government chairmanship, governorship, and all that, so that experience is built? I can bet you that as much as we know a lot we want to do, even the sitting president at his age, haven't been a president before, a military
head of state,
and now he's at that age, haven't seen a lot. He has claimed that he actually said that he almost ran out of the country when he made the situation on ground. Sometimes when we operate from the outside, it's easy. The challenges of Nigeria are so enormous. Sometimes we may think it's as easy as we comment both on social media and on national television, but the reality sometimes may differ. So what we need is train. It's not like it's a rocket science, but we also need to encourage young people by giving them some grooming. They need some level of mentorship, giving them, the gradual capacity building opportunities so that they also begin to understand, okay, the executive powers of a local government chairman. From there, the executive powers of governor. Yes, not everybody needs to go through all this hop, but there are people who can emerge to the president or governors without going through the local government chairman. But at the same time, even at the background, you need to have groomed, you need to have spoken to them. Look at how, if you read from third word to first word, the metamorphosis of Singapore, you will understand what the man did. Starting with the army, with the police, they wanted younger, vibrant people. What they do, they send them abroad. Some to America, some to Britain, some to the in England, some to Israel, to all of that. They brought military experts from Israel and began to train younger people. After they've acquired enormous knowledge, they brought them into place and raised them. And these people brought a new culture into the different segments of the society. And before you know, the younger generation enveloped the leadership. But at this time, the man who was in power was not a young person. But he had a vision of younger generation taking over power, but capacity was necessary. So what did he do? He took them through these processes and eventually introduced them in different segments and sectors, and they brought in new culture. They eradicated the old corruption culture, they eradicated the debts, they eradicated the underdevelopment, and over a period of time, built Singapore, and today it is one of the world's mother.
That's true.
And we must also.
That's all right, and great. I need to take you up on this because recently we actually saw on social media where a senator, a former governor of Plateau State, actually stated that the Senate is not for the young. So we're having like two different things. We're having the older generation still telling us, okay, the young are actually welcome into politics, and we're still having another set of people again that feel that.
Yeah.
It's not for the young.
The Senate is not for only the House of Assembly.
Okay,
according to
let me even go further to say that the unfortunate thing here is that our generation thinks that power is given a la carte, and that is unfortunate. Leadership is a responsibility. If you're going to lead, whether as a state governor or whether as a senator or whether as a president, you must show you have a sense of responsibility. And what does that mean? In the face of these marauding challenges in our society, we need young people to come up and take them segment by segment. We have our issues. Can we come up with propositions? Call for debate. Hey, Mr. Fashion, Mr. Minister, my name is Craig Imo. It doesn't matter my age. I know that this power problem can be solved. I've seen what you're doing. I have a better idea of how it can be done. I'm calling you for public discourse. Even where he refuses to do, the society will want to hear from you.
Sure.
We need to have young people who have sense of responsibility. Not, sagging youths who will think that somebody will just come and dump power at your feet. I want to use my state as an example. Currently, IBB'S state is one of the most backward states in Nigeria, in the current democracy. We right there in our state, we had a youth program in War Museum in 2014, brought Emeka Ikecha Okafo to enlighten our young people, titled it Maximizing the Future, bringing the youth to the attention of what needs to be done instead. But you'll be surprised that when you go to social media, some of these young people who cannot travel from Aba to Umuahia by 4, who cannot walk on the street of Umuahia by 8, they are still the ones supporting politicians. Because if these young people are not giving these people this support, these older people, some of these people who have run the society aground, you wouldn't have them be in power. Who will be the one to carry machetes? Who are the ones carrying guns? Is it just because we say we want young people? We just don't want any young people. We want responsible young men. We have seen some of them who have had the opportunity to showcase what Nigerian youth can do. Some of them have been a disappointment. As much as I want young people to come, but we want responsible young men.
Not just young because you're young.
Because you're young. So I just give you power to go and mess up what already, to finish up what already.
All right, before we take a break, let's bring Femi into this discussion. Now, IBB was actually trying to provoke, young leadership. He's saying that we need to enthrone younger blood into our political, our mainstream politics and all that. Do you think the Nigerian youth as we have it today are actually ready, to take on the responsibility of leadership in Nigeria?
Well, I don't think they are ready.
Really?
Because a lot of corruption is out there. Nigeria youth, you see them, they are not ready to work. They're ready to be fighting, following all these politicians up and down, destroying everywhere. So it will be very difficult for them to come in. But we have those that are responsible.
Responsible, true.
Yeah.
All right, and I think that's true. This is a huge debate. I don't want to go into the issue of the arrest of his spokesman and all of that. I think that's already been
but the unfortunate thing
resolved somehow.
It's important to mention that the IG is acting as a medicine interloper in this case. You are not his boss. You have not, his boss have not invited you to arrest him for any misconduct. So you going to arrest him for saying anything?
I think they just assumed it was a fake statement. It was an assumption.
Officially known to be the spokesman
of IBB.
But in as much, those are part of the things that we keep on talking about on social media, because there was still another set of gists too that also trended that IBB refuted the story.
Now,
later on, no, we have about 3 stories of the whole thing.
Whatever is it, number one, officially in Nigeria, especially for us, for those of us in the media, the designate office of Afegba is the media aid to IBB. I don't think you know of any other person. The so-called this you read, there was no sign off. So how could you have said, as the media president, that was official statement from IBB? And if it's personally signed up by IBB and is refuting that, it is not any concern of that IG.
Okay.
IG in this case has been a bad advertisement for Buhari.
Okay, Mr.
All right.
Great.
Great. All right, but great. You are strongly against, this issue of open letters, back and forth.
You can write as much as you want.
I think the essence of having an open letter in the first place is because they want it to be in the public purview. I think that is.
But they have an opinion about what's going on in the country.
How about if on Obasanjo or an IBB have come together and said, we are doing what they call headhunting or talent hunt for leadership. We're investing in this, we're investing in this, without
rather than all this.
So you're mixing up the message.
Okay.
They are two different things.
All right. So, well, we have to move on to other topics, but there's something in the letter that I held on to, that I got, and that touched me and makes me realize that this whole project called Nigeria can still work, because there's still a lot Nigeria has to give yet. According to IBB's statement, having been privileged to preside over this great country, interacted with all categories of persons, dissected all shades of opinions, understudied different ethnic groupings, I can rightfully conclude that our strength lies in our diversity. And I think that is something every young person should hold on to, and know that all of these ethnic killings and all of that, we don't need it. We're all Nigerians and we need to embrace that fact.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, but then people are reacting already. Uchenna Ambrose says, yes, the old should give chance to leaders of tomorrow. All right, this one says, I think IBB has freedom of speech to have made that statement. After all, IBB is an elder statesman in Nigeria. He had ruled over Nigeria for 8 years. By God's grace, he's still a living witness to current situations in Nigeria, knowing that Buhari has, IBB can advise. All right, I can't say that last part. All right, this one says, I have a question for Great. In his own view, does he want PMB to come back?
Now, my view will be determined whether PMB is coming back or not.
Okay.
As of today, President has not told us he's running.
He's running. Exactly.
So I will be, it will be
presumptuous of you.
Presumptuous
yes.
of me if you want to say that I'll be voting for this or not. We don't know the candidates for 2019 yet. So PMB as of today have not said I'm running. So I want to hold my peace until when he says I'm running. Then I will know whether I should make my statement or I should just use my one PVC and determine what my statement is.
You always know a politician by the answers they give.
You can see the way he was really analyzing.
The question will be that, has Buhari told he's running?
He hasn't really. He hasn't made an official declaration.
Told he's running.
No.
So why should I'm not his official spokesman.
Okay, we have to move on. We have to move on.
When he's running.
Abdul from Kaduna.